Define and defy, hackathon, Morales and Google. 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 Define hackathon, Morales and Google. Define and define hackathon, Morales and Google. Define and define hackathon, Morales and Google. Define and define hackathon, Morales and Google. 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 Morales and Google.
GM. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Web3 family. Welcome, future builders of DeFi. We're here for episode 2 of the Morales Community Podcast. I'm super excited to be here with you. As always, we are sponsored by Morales. Morales Web3 is your one-stop solution for enterprise-grade Web3 APIs. We are unlocking the power of blockchain, and we're here, as usual, to serve you, the community, with our weekly podcast. My name's Bill, and I'm here with my co-host, as usual, Phil.
And I'm Phil, your head of events for Morales. We're joined by Joseph, head of our community engineers today. And man, are we excited to be here with you guys again this week. This is, as Bill said, the second edition of the Morales Web3 podcast. And man, we're only getting started here. Joseph, please introduce yourself, sir. Welcome to the show. We're super glad to have you.
Thanks, guys. Glad to be here. Hey guys, my name is Joseph. I'm the head of community engineers from Morales. As usual, I'm there for you. If you're building with Morales, then you can reach out to me or my team, and we'll help you, support you build with Morales Web3, and it'll be super easy. So feel free to enjoy the community as always. So yeah, back to you, Phil.
Perfect. We're going to get into specifics on exactly what Joseph does with Morales and how his team works to help you every single day, how we provide 24-hour support. We're going to get into all those things here later on today. Before we do, though, we've got a couple other things to go over with you. Now, if you're part of our hackathon, we're going to have some tidbits that are real important updates and information on that. So definitely stick around for that. Watch all the way until the end, especially if you're in the hackathon. Now, even if you're not, we want you to stick around too, because at the end of the day, we want everybody who's developing in Web 2 to start developing in Web 3. And that's why we created Morales, to bridge that gap and to take you in to the next stage of internet development, frankly, before other people are there, so that you can really be a pioneer there, because we believe in that vision. We believe in true digital ownership and a lot of other things that we like to talk about on this show. I want to hand it over to Bill now to get a little bit into the goals of this podcast, even beyond what I was just sharing there.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Just a reminder to everybody, as Ivan would always say, smash the likes, hit that like button for us. We're trying to build our community here and spread the message of Web3 far and wide. Shout out straight away to Taijan. I see you in the chat, and thank you so much. He's been helping me out with the Web3 UI kit. Super appreciate your great work, buddy. So yeah, for the podcast, we're really here for you. We want to showcase like what we've got going on that's new at Morales, because we're pushing so many new live features all the time and so many improvements. We want to talk about those each week. We want to talk about whatever's going on in the industry in general. It's a fast-moving, fast-paced industry, and there's always loads of really cool news to talk about. we're always going to have sweet tips and tricks about how to get into Web3, especially things like the new Ethereum boilerplate being ready. And obviously my mission to make Web3 IKit great again. I'm still working very hard on that on the weekends. And of course, we want to showcase the community dApps. So anything you build, please let us know in Discord, let us know on Twitter. We'd be really happy to have you on here and to discuss that. So yeah, I think we kind of outlined what we're trying to do each week. So let's get into it and have a look at the news. I wanted to talk about this week the fact that our YouTube is really, really growing. I'm on there pretty actively. Yusuf, what about yourself? Have you seen any great tutorials on YouTube lately?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, we've been pumping out a lot, especially from our YouTube lead. So, like, Streams API, Web3 API, a lot of new contents, even short ones if you prefer like a shorter time span. And definitely, there's a lot of great tutorials to follow on. And of course, like, other than that, they can follow docs as well for additional documentations and, yeah, basically learning new stuff about Web3.
Nice. Yeah, I really actually love the presentation style of Jay. He's one of our main content creators. And I find like a lot of the times when I'm following tutorials on YouTube, people spend like 5 minutes telling me what they had for breakfast. And, it's just so much fluff and then like a little bit of information and then loads more fluff. Whereas I think Jay is just like really straight to the facts and like filled with really, really good, juicy information. So yeah, shout out to Jay, by the way, if you're watching. We're a big fan of your work. What about you, Phil? You've been jumping onto YouTube. You seen anything cool lately?
Well, of course, recently Ivan's streams are back. So I know that a lot of people who have been following our organization since before Morales are excited to see that we have Good Morning Crypto making a second coming, if you will, on YouTube. So that's very exciting. And so what does that mean for us as developers? Because at the end of the day, this is a development podcast. And when I say this is a development podcast, don't misunderstand. This is a podcast for everyone because we believe that everybody has the ability to contribute to Web3 development, to be part of that movement. And we're here to equip you for that journey, whether that means you're starting at the academy or whether that means you're joining us in Discord right now and actually digging in to using the Morales APIs. Either way, we're here for you. And so it's exciting to see that right now we've got things like Good Morning Crypto coming back. We're deep in the bear market. And so what does that mean? That means now is the time to get serious about building. I'm not going to share tons of alpha on this channel about the dApps I'm most excited about. That'll come later in a different form. But I just know that some of the things that I saw really rise to prominence during 2020, the things like Polygon, what was called Matic at the time. And of course, the asset is still called that. That was something that I got into and started playing with in like mid to late 2020. And that was the time. That was when they were building and bootstrapping, and there wasn't a single dApp on there yet, but there was about to be. QuickSwap launched later that year. It really started to spark a lot of things over there. And we're going to see other things like that with different networks and things like that. And you might be the one who's building the dApp today that gains traction when the bull market hits. But the truth is, you can't start that then. You have to be starting it now, because if you don't, somebody else is going to take that baton and they're going to reach that goal because they started during the time when everybody was scared, when everybody was worried, it's all going to go to zero and things like that. I mean, these are just market cycles, folks.
Yeah.
There's something we can use as developers.
It's not going to zero for sure. I actually loved it on Slack, Phil. You whenever the downturn happened, you shared this meme of the guy, and has he got the rope around his neck, or is he on the?
Oh yeah. That's from the so it's from a Netflix movie, but yeah, they're up at the gallows. That's where you would be sentenced to hang until you're dead, and the guys both have a rope around their neck, and the caption always is 2020 bull market veteran, or 2018, maybe it wasn't the last one or whatever, and he'll turn to the guy and he'll say, "Oh, it's your first time, huh?"
Yeah, your first time being hung.
Because it does feel like that a little bit. When you see your portfolio go from like 60K or whatever down to 10K, and you're just you want to cry. This is where getting in development will save you in this industry, because it's a constant upward journey when you're improving your own dApp. And I don't necessarily mean in terms of revenue, but I mean in terms of progress and improvement. You're able to firsthand go through and improve it one step at a time, see that journey and experience it firsthand. And then, I mean, that teaches you how to handle opportunities in the future. I truly believe, we're learning life lessons here together as developers in Web3, and that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And I really liked it. Actually, my wife was talking about it as well when we were out for dinner afterwards. When you shared about your journey last week, Phil, and you were saying like you just start, like you just jump in and get going, and like that's how your journey starts. And I think it's a really inspirational message, to everybody. And I would say exactly the same thing. Like people say to me on Twitter, like, oh, how do you get started in front end? And I'm like, you just start building stuff, like it won't work and it'll break. And then you learn lessons from that. And you just it is always an upward cycle. Like you just get better and better and better and better with every single line of code you write. So just jump in and have a go, I think would be the message. So next up in the news, one thing I wanted to highlight was I have been super impressed with Moralis Magazine. If anybody here isn't subscribed to that, it's a weekly mail out that we do. And it's just full of great information. A guy called Simon from our company has taken over running it. And all the contributors are writing really great content every single week. And I don't know, if you're not signed up for that yet and you're listening to this, I would definitely go and sign up. Every week there's really interesting articles. We talk about the events that are coming up. We talk about what's new at Moralis. We talk about the hackathons. I think the two, but like this email and the podcast kind of go hand in hand really well. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that. But
you can get access to that publication free of charge at moralis.io/join Discord. That will not only give you access to our Discord, but also subscribe you to the Moralis Magazine mailing list. Very excited to be talking about that publication, now running for over a year. I had the pleasure of working with the team that first launched that. And as Bill said, Simon is now taking the lead with that and making great strides over there. So we definitely want to support him. And if you're a member of our community, as I know you all are, it's a great resource to just see what the newest things at Moralis are every week. We talk about hackathons in there. We talk about anything that's brand new that just came out. We put up tutorials when they're available. And we really just keep beating the drums year round for Moralis and for Web3, because at the end of the day, we know that it's easier to start this journey when you have support and when you're not doing it alone. And Moralis Magazine's part of how we join you from wherever you're at.
Nice. Perfect. And the next thing I want to talk about in the news headlines was a very, very interesting tweet from a very intelligent man who I'm sure you all know, CTO Larson. He actually tweeted out this week, and I think we could call this tweet, "Let's make London great again." He tweeted out this week about how he predicts that the new Prime Minister of London, I'm very sorry if I butcher your name, my mom is a big fan, by the way, Rishi Sunak, the new Prime Minister, he says that he's been following him for a while, and he's been tweeting in the past and been quoted in the past about being a big fan of crypto. And he thinks that this whole push to make London the new financial hub of the world again could be through like cryptocurrencies and kind of introducing that and making a new industry around it in London. What do you think about that, Yusuf? Did you catch the tweet, or do you have any thoughts about that?
No, actually, unfortunately I probably haven't. But that's definitely really interesting to hear about that, because I think a lot of places definitely they hope their own governor, such as the US, maybe at first Gary Gensler, they hope that he's pro crypto because of his background teaching crypto in universities such as MIT, but eventually he go the other way around. But definitely it'll be very interesting to see a behemoth such as London, which has been where all the traditional finance things happen. Maybe the next step will be become a crypto hub, a really big crypto hub in the next few years, hopefully. So yeah, we'll see.
Now, there's a little bit of, I think, international confusion about the whole prime minister situation in England, mostly because it was so quick to change in the past few months. Now, I don't want to get too political on this show, but just for the sake of folks who don't I mean, my question about this as an outsider, you know, I live in the United States. My question is, it seemed very, it was shocking to see that somebody take that prime minister seat, not receive the support that they wanted to receive for their ideas, and then leave so quickly, you know, to put this in neutral terms. It seems, again, we have a person who's in that position with ambitious ideas. What, you know, why would they receive support where the other most recently leaving prime minister did not receive support?
I'll try not to get too political about this, Phil, for sure. But I think that I assume most relatively well-educated people understand the benefits of DeFi and of crypto. This gentleman's predecessor was not suggesting that crypto should be introduced, but making some rather harsh decisions about where money could be saved and where money should be spent. And the decisions were impacting in a negative way quite a vast majority of people who would be probably the most needy people in the economy, that, you know, would need support and not need to be having more of their rights or privileges or the things that they necessarily would need to live every day taken away. So some of those decisions that were made were very, very unpopular. I live in France at the minute, so I'm talking from the outside too.
Sure. Well, then to put it in neutral terms, it sounds like the ideas being presented by the now pro-crypto prime minister are much, can we say, more popular?
I would hope they're more popular.
There's a high likelihood that they'll be more popular.
Less negative, I would say, for sure. Yeah. I was seeing a lot of negative news around the predecessor. It seemed like the decisions, I mean, it's hard to tell, right? Like there could be so many complications that we're unaware of, but when things were broken down into simplistic terms for a dummy like me to understand, it seemed like they were very crazy decisions that the predecessor was trying to impose. So yeah, I think the unpopularity was pretty unanimous, and unfortunately, it was time to go. And a very nice retirement fund for a few days in office. So I'm sure all parties are happy on that front. So
crazy,
crazy stuff. In other good news, other good crypto news, we actually have a bit of a pump for the first time ever in my portfolio. Anyway, like I wouldn't say that I own a lot, but a very small amount, a very, very small amount of Dogecoin. I noticed 100% pump last week. So I only found out about this in a meeting on Friday afternoon, and someone said that Doge was pumping, and I checked it very quickly, and it was the first thing that I'd seen blue in my application in a while, which was really nice. And now actually my Bitcoin has gone up a little bit too. And when I'm talking about my wallet, I buy like $100 of X crypto with each paycheck each month. So it really is a very small wallet, but very, very nice to see some good numbers. Were either of you guys involved in the Doge, or any of your other ones pumping at the minute?
So I'm going to introduce some synergy with an interview that Ivan recently held on his channel. You can definitely check this out. The one of the leaders of Cake DeFi and also DeFi Chain has an interesting product that I enjoy using. And so while I'm not holding any Doge, I do hold Doge DeFi or DFI liquidity positions on the DeFi chain.
So like an LP token, something like
exactly. It's very similar to an LP token. Behaves a little differently because the DeFi chain is a blockchain network designed to facilitate exchange, but that does not currently support other smart contracts. They're introducing, and this is something I heard during that interview, they're introducing an EVM utility, whether it's a rewrite of the chain or what, I don't know. I'd have to look into that deeper. But EVM capabilities on DeFi chain are said to be coming. So that may become even more interesting at that point. But yeah, Doge is one of those weird ones, right? Like I feel like yeah, if you were good at timing the market, you could probably buy it and sell it and make money. But isn't this a great example of where we can build something that's better than just a buy and hold approach? Doge suffers from, or benefits from, depending on your perspective, a lot of volatility. And volatility is exactly what you need in order to create utility for dApps. If you have no movement in price whatsoever, it's very hard to make any money speculating, because there's no movement. You buy it at one day, it's the same price the next day. You sell it or you don't. You're not making anything. You need that volatility. It's now, on the other hand, well, what else do we call that volatility? It's risk when it's applied to a position that you're holding. So how does this relate to development? Well, when we're building our dApps, the more transparent that we can make the risk layers, and then also the aspects that potentially produce revenue, the more transparent that we can make those, the more appealing your dApp will be to experts who want to weigh those factors themselves. So if I'm a DeFi expert and I'm going to use a dApp for the very first time, the first thing I'm asking myself is, how does this dApp make money? And there's two reasons for that. Number one, I want my gains to be real. I don't want to be getting a token that's worthless, that has no backing, because then it's not worth anything to me either. I'm not the type to put money into a dApp for 1 week and then try to cash out what I earn that same week before the market crashes. I'm much more of I want to be involved with dApps that have long-term utility and benefit to us in terms of digital ownership and in terms of moving us from Web 2 to Web 3. So that's the first thing I'm asking, is how does it make money? Because I want to make money and I want to know where it's coming from. The second reason is because I want the dApp developers to make money, because I want them to keep running the user experience that I use to get involved with it. Like, if they don't make any money, they're going to have to close their doors in a month. That maybe they won some money in a hackathon, something like that, but that is only going to take them so far. At the end of the day, that they need to be earning more money than me. Why? Because they're doing more work than me. I'm just participating in their dApp. And I'm doing it because it is beneficial for me. But at the end of the day, I need to see that, as a long-term investment to be really exciting. The more we can build this into our dApps, the more mature we make our industry. So that's a challenge I'm going to put out to each and every one of you every week. Make your dApps professional, make them mature, go to the mainstream when they're ready and say, hey, look, this does exactly what your mainstream financial product does, except it does it trustlessly. And anybody on the planet can use it. Doesn't matter where you're from. That's where we win, when we can really say that. But we have to provide the same transparency too. And sometimes or at a certain point, it's going to have to do with regulation as well. But that's a whole different conversation.
Ooh, not the R word. Ooh,
that's tough.
What about you, Yusuf? Are you holding any Doge? Did you feel the pump over the last week?
No,
ETH
actually,
is up, Bitcoin's up.
Yeah.
It's all good.
No, actually, I don't hold any. I probably just hold a bit of crypto, mostly like L1, such as Ethereum, maybe some Polygons. But most of the time, I'm kind of like more of like someone who use it more for gas fees, so for technical purposes instead of like for investing. So yeah, I didn't feel any of those. Sometimes I don't even watch those anymore, at least right now during the bear market, maybe because I don't have a diamond hand, so.
Yeah. No, my wife and I were super excited. We were out on Saturday afternoon and like every 15 minutes looking at it, be like, it's going up, it's going up. And I was like, oh, it's been so long since I felt this, the thrill of the industry and everything going up. So yeah, I super enjoyed it anyway. It was a fun ride and made a couple of bucks along the way. But still haven't sold. I never sell. Always hold on. I always hold. So Taijan, no, I don't know about Doge Chain, but if you build it, they will come. And hi to John Versus as well. Thanks for waving in the chat. So that's it for the news. I'm going to hand it over to my lovely co-host Phil. He's going to tell us all about what's going on with Defining DeFi Hackathon. Tell us, Phil.
Oh man, that song is so good, isn't it?
So good, so good,
catchy. Yeah,
that's courtesy of our in-house music producer Davide, who's an excellent DJ too. So it's really, really cool. We're gonna have some surprises for you on this podcast in future episodes that have to do with some of our own in-house music. So stay around for that. Definitely make sure you like and subscribe, bell button and all, please. All right. So talking about hackathons, right now we're in the middle of Morales and Google defining DeFi, where we're defining what DeFi is today through what we build. How do you define something in emerging tech? It's kind of a hard question because emerging tech is by definition less defined than mainstream tech.
Well, experimentation, I guess, right? And everything with DeFi is about community. So yeah, experimentation through a community. And quick shout out to Tippy. Hey, buddy.
And I guess exactly
what I'm getting at, Bill. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Yosef.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Kind of. No, I'm just saying I guess it depends because DeFi, although the ecosystem itself is at least on the base layer, we have MakerDAO and then some AMMs and also lending protocols, which is kind of the base layer. But I think over time, I think when we're talking about defining DeFi, it depends on what people say. I think some people are probably gonna be so these are probably the first mover are probably gonna be copying something that already exists from TradFi, but sometimes they probably could build something that might not be possible in TradFi, but might exist in DeFi. So one example that already exists to this day is kind of flash loan. You cannot exactly borrow something and then trade it on the place and then return it a few seconds later, but you can do it in DeFi. So I think that's one of the biggest innovation of DeFi, at least one that I really see. Definitely there's a lot more rooms as well.
You could do it in the American check system, but it's illegal.
Oh,
you could write a check, Bill. I could write a check to you for $1 million, and then if we could somehow use that money, somebody else would accept it, just signing it, not putting it into the bank, and then we could repay it beforehand. It would be like a flash loan, but it would be totally illegal, and you would go to prison. Or if you've seen the movie Catch Me If You Can, you wouldn't go to prison at all, and you'd become
what a movie!
The,
an FBI agent. Yeah, but the likelihood is no.
And just for anybody in the audience watching, a check is what we used to use to pay for things way before you were born. It's a piece of paper. People called it money. I don't know. It was crazy times.
Yeah, I'm too young to know that.
Anyone knows what a check is.
But no, they're totally silly. And I'm sure that I'll rant about the silliness of checks again at some point. Now that said, wrapping up with we were just talking about Morales and Google defining DeFi, and a small digression there, but just bringing us back. How do we define DeFi? Well, a lot of times we define DeFi through action. DeFi becomes what we say it is through the code that we deploy. So today, DeFi is over-collateralized lending and decentralized exchange. Tomorrow, DeFi could be homeowners insurance. It's not today. There isn't the homeowners insurance plan you can buy in the blockchain. If there was, maybe I would buy it. And
very relevant for you, Phil. I could sense that.
Well, I'm renting right now, so it's not totally relevant for me, but will be in a couple of years. That's why I'm putting it out there now. Hopefully it's ready by the time I need it. All these sorts of things, literally anything that's currently financed could be DeFi. We just need to make it so. Also, it's important that we put to the forefront the best examples of what DeFi is today. And, many people would say in the form of exchange, that's Uniswap. But I'd like to maybe make that, take a little bit different look at that and say that automatic market maker version 1 is actually the advancement, which you can get a clean boilerplate version of from Chainlink's repositories. So I encourage you to check that out if you're interested in implementing AMM version 1 in your dApp. Super easy to do. If you're already working, with Web3 and with us using Moralis, this will be this is one of those copy and paste jobs where, oh, you want an exchange? There it is. And they have a bunch of other things over there too, like lending, DAO functions, other things that you might want. So I encourage you guys to check that out. Chainlink is, of course, a Moralis partner that we work with quite a bit during different events as well, and great resources over there that are in many ways blockchain agnostic.
Honestly, like
Nice.
I really looking forward, like in this hackathon, maybe like if people build more like insurance stuff, because like I think like there's not so many like prominent insurance protocol, and maybe to some extent like derivatives such as options or even futures that can implement something like that, because I think like those are really big space, especially like when I talk about insurance. Maybe a lot of people don't know, but a lot of insurance company are essentially like a permanent capital vehicle. Essentially like means like it's sort of like a bank, like you put money into the insurance, but like from the insurance perspective, they cannot take out the money like the bank, and they can use those money to basically invest. And like if it's a DeFi version, they can have a DAO where they pull money from the insurance, basically from the premiums, and then like have it invest in other DeFi protocols and get yields, give yields to the token holders. So, I mean, I think like that'll be pretty interesting to see.
Sometimes the most effective ways that we can make money from our clients who interact with our dApps are when we're extremely transparent about what we're giving them, even if it's expensive and even if it's something that they might not ever use. Let me give you an example. I have a background in car sales. I used to work in car sales before I ever touched cryptocurrency. And when I was working in car sales, you have the front end and the back end. And this has nothing to do with the front and back end of the car, but this is how the sales process goes. The front end is where you sell the vehicle. It's whatever price the vehicle is. It's the same one you see on the commercials a lot of times. Of course, that one includes incentives and things like that, but depending on where you live. But anyway, that's the price of the car. The back end is all the extra insurance stuff that they sell you on top of that. Oh, if you get a flat tire on the way home, you want that to be covered, right? It's not normally covered. So, that's an extra $200. We can add that in. And then, what about your windshield and the back window? You want that to be covered. If a rock hits it, that's not the fault of the dealership, so we wouldn't normally cover that. But for an extra $150, we can do that. In fact, take a look at this big package where we cover all of these things. Now, this 10% here, you're probably definitely going to need. This 90%, you might need, but you don't want to think about it. If you need it, you just want it to be covered. You want somebody else to think about it. So why don't we take care of it right now? This whole package is $1,000. I've not seen a single DeFi app that sells products that way yet, but that's that's how we build a suite of products and a customer experience for our clients that covers things that they might not even know that they need yet. So we've seen the start of this with centralized platforms, but can we bring this into decentralized platforms is the question. Can we do exactly like what Celsius did, but in a transparent way, where it's you put money in, all right, I have access to earning automatically. I have access to loans. I just need to apply for them. And, it's based on what I'm holding there. So it all makes sense. Can I actually duplicate a financial institution with a full array of offerings with my dApp? Now, this is probably not something that you're going to do in the course of a 2-month hackathon, but it might be the Leviathan that you build during the bear market that brings you to the forefront of DeFi experience during the next bull run.
Nice. Yeah, man, that's very exciting. So when's the end date? Are we going to see some projects? Maybe get some people on to have a look at their projects at the.
Let's talk about
Moralis
powered showcases.
Ooh.
So I've been thinking about this a bit, and Moralis powered showcases is something that it's not totally my idea. We love to spotlight Moralis powered apps and dapps, and Ivan will do that on his show sometimes. He's even done it recently. So do check out over there if you're interested in seeing something already that's powered by Moralis. My initiative is less about how do we show dApps that are powered by Moralis and more about how do I show your dApp powered by Moralis. And I'm coming up with a way where if you're working hard and using Moralis, we can get you there. And that'll be not only by working with me, but also working with our community engineers to polish up those last little bits and have something that not only we're excited, but that you're super excited to show the whole world. The plan that I have is this. We just had a check-in for our most recent hackathon. We received a decent number of submissions, a little over 60, but not a ton. You know, I'm anticipating over 100 submissions for this hackathon.
60 sounds like a lot to me, Phil. Do you have to go through each and every one of these, like jump into it,
for
log
those
in
of you
with your wallet?
who didn't fill out the check-in, the check-in was relatively straightforward. We're trying to get an idea of where people were developing. Are you developing on BNB chain, Polygon, or maybe Phantom? And if you're using Phantom, are you also using multi-chain? Or if you're using BNB, are you also using Axelar? Or any number of different combinations. And from that, we found that we have a great spread. At the end of the day, I want to see even more submissions at the end, because the submissions that we get are going to be my short list for who we put on Moralis powered showcases first. Now, if you win the hackathon and you receive a cash prize, we're going to showcase you by default. No problem there. It'll be part of the closing ceremony, and we're going to make sure that you get great exposure, not only then, but going forward. We'll keep in touch, and we'll be part of that journey with you. If you aren't chosen as a winner, though, that is not the end of your development journey. That's when I want you to keep an eye on your email. 1 week after the closing ceremony, I'm going to send out an email to every single person who submitted a project but didn't win, with instructions on how you can get in touch with me and start to continue development on your dApp, finally bringing it to a Moralis-powered showcase once, twice, 3 times as you keep going forward. I mean, this is a perpetual journey, and exposure is part of it. So I'm going to be your partner in that. The first step, finish up this hackathon, get your submission in, and then look for that email from me after the event. For those of you who don't win a prize, for those of you who do, I'll be talking to you even sooner. Now, one more thing. If you're not part of this hackathon, don't worry. I'm going to have more hackathons coming up next year. No official announcements yet. As soon as I know more, I'm going to share that with all of you. I'm going to talk about registration on this show. This podcast is your hub for new hackathon information. I will be sharing hackathon information here publicly before I share it anywhere else, and then echoing it to our other sources after that. So if you want it firsthand, stick around. Every single week, we're going to be here dropping that new hackathon info, whatever we've got for you guys.
Nice. What a partner to have, Phil. A partner. You're saying you're going to be a partner to all of these people. Like, you've been a partner to me for the last year, and what a partner to have. Like, you can't go wrong. Phil is the ultimate pamp man.
I'm here for you. And at the end of the day, I mean, I believe in you guys, and I believe in what you can build with Moralis. I believe that our product is the product for developing in Web3. There is no other option to start with. A lot of people ask us, what programming language should I learn first? What blockchain should I start with first? I want you to put all of that aside. Start with Moralis first, because regardless of which EVM blockchain you want to start with, we support it. Or if we don't support it yet, we will. And regardless of which, what type of dApp you want to build, we're here to help you with that. So at the end of the day, I mean, of course, I'm head of events for Moralis. It's my job to talk well about Moralis, but I really believe these things as well. And if you want to talk more about it with me one-on-one, Gather Town today at 8 p.m.
Yes, UTC. Good point. Actually, we're going to meet up in Gather Town. So 8 p.m. UTC, we're saying, Phil?
Yeah, unless I have that time wrong.
Where will we share the link to that? It's a very specific link, right?
So the link for Gather Town is in Discord. There also may be a link in the description. Let me verify that right now. If there isn't one, I can add one in.
Yep, let's
Mm-hmm.
do that. And also, we got a message in the chat from, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, I'm dyslexic and very stupid. Tome, is it Tome with the E on the end? You're saying you can't wait to get your MVP out and share it with everyone. Let us know in the chat what's your MVP about. I would love some more detail on that. Very, very exciting.
The link is in the chat.
Oh,
Very bottom of the description. Click that link. You can join GatherTown right now. That's your space. It's for our Web3 community to talk with other developers, to host your own meetings. It's open during every hackathon. And the truth is, I'm going to see what we can do about keeping it open all the time, because I love the interactions that we're getting there. I love being available to you guys there. And it's a great place for us to meet up. If you haven't tried out GatherTown, check out ours.
it's cool.
You know, we're ready to receive you.
Oh, Cosmic Exodus.
We got the Oh man, hey, what's up, Tom? Oh my God, no way. We've been talking on Discord for so long. Tom has been sending me like preview videos. I don't know, maybe like 6 or 9 months or something. We've been talking back and forth on Discord. What is up, dude? It's really great to see you in the chat. Good luck. I'm this guy. Tom has been on a journey this year. Let me tell you, like, it has been going super good. The bear market, people letting him down, rebuilding his team. It's been like up and down journey. Super, super high drama. I'm so glad that you've seen it through, Tom. I get really excited every time you send me another preview. I can't wait to play the finished game. I've already played a couple of slices of it, like I think they call it a vertical slice in the gaming industry. So yeah. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here, Tom, and keep up the great work. It's great to see you. Okay. So finally, if anybody has any questions for me, Phil, or Yusuf, by the way, please feel free to throw them in the chat. And we'll answer those at the end. The next and final section of our show this week is we want to ask a few questions to our very first and extra special guest. I just want to say what a great job you've done, Yusuf. I think we might have to have you on more often. But a big welcome to you. You're our first ever guest on the community podcast. So thank you for coming here today.
Really, thank you.
And
Yeah,
let
nice.
me kick off with your first question. Tell me about everything you do at Moralis. You do a lot of hard work, and I've been a big fan of yours on Discord for a long time. So tell us all about your job at Moralis.
So yeah, essentially there's a lot, but was it first, of course, like the head of community engineers, like managing the community from Discord forum, of course, part of the hackathon support as well. If you guys are building right now, you're asking like the community engineers, I'm coordinating all of those. Of course, a part of that, doing like the was that like hackathon judging at the end. So if you guys are building a project, me and my team are essentially going to be the one who's checking and grading and like choosing who's going to be the winner for the hackathon. So essentially, those are my main role as the head. I do some stuff as well outside of that, so such as kind of like documentations, and sometimes maybe like do some videos for like the academy. And before that, I kind of do some videos for the Morales YouTube channel as well. Although I didn't really do it nowadays because it's very busy with the community all the time. So.
And not only that, but we got to have a very special trip, you and I, this year. And it sounds romantic because it was romantic. That's why.
It is.
But yeah, we tell everybody about our very special trip we took this year. It was awesome.
Yeah, so basically Bill and me, and actually like another friend of ours, Shiv, we get a chance to visit React India. Essentially, we go there. Bill has speaking engagement, which is very amazing, and he shared everything about building with Morales and the SDKs, etc. Really great, speech, by the way. So.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, essentially we engage with a lot of like the developers in there, mostly Web3 developers, which is very unique and do give us a very fresh perspective of how we are doing overall in the developer community. And yeah, it was very fun overall, and learning a bunch of new stuff and like meeting a lot of like basically industry leaders in the React community. So.
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head, actually, when you said it was interesting talking to like a Web2 like community, because we went there and you and I and Shiv, we were there early. So we were there in the first night. We had some beers with some other developers. and we realized
Oh,
that
yeah.
like we were like pitching something that they didn't know what we were talking about basically. So I had to go back and change my entire speech. I was like, wow, I was like thought I was speaking to our usual audience, but I'm now realizing that I need to explain what Web3 is and why it matters before I talk about what Moralis is. So yeah, it was a bit of a shift that I really enjoyed it, and those conversations with you guys were very, very informative. You're both extremely well clued in on the whole Web3 industry. It was amazing to hear you guys doing your thing in front of the community. It was great.
Yeah,
So moving on to our next question. I get this quite a lot. I think other people do as well on Twitter and like, you know, from Discord and stuff. How do you find working at Moralis? Like, what do you like about it? What's great about being here?
I think I found it like honestly like really great. Honestly, it's like the best workplace I've ever been. Although I could be biased because like I only been work like in one other place before this, which is as a software engineer. But then again, I feel like since the beginning, although my role changes quite a lot since the beginning, when I first get recruited until now, I think like I always like feel very excited whenever work. Like when I wake up, I'm always very excited to like just jump in and start working, doing my stuff, like achieving something like. And the thing is that like I think like it's also important to note that like in Morales, like there's a lot of autonomy. Like you're basically given some guidelines on what to do and what to achieve and something like that. But the rest of it, I think like it's a lot of like freedom to like contribute and like push boundaries, basically to bring more value to Morales and eventually bring more value to the Morales community who use Morales to build their application. And yeah, it was just really awesome experience. And I think like yeah, it's already been like around 1 year at this point, so really great.
Phil, I bet you have some things you love about working at Moralis too. Well, what's your favorite thing about working here?
Well, you know, what do I not love about working at Moralis?
The coffee's
I love
great.
working for a remote first company, and it's the first time I've ever worked for a remote first company. I've been with Moralis now for, I mean, since before it was Moralis, so over 2 years now. And yeah, it's just the way that we work is we want everything to be very, very good, as exceptional, and then also very, very fast.
Fast and good.
Yeah.
The combination of those two things is difficult to achieve. So we start every single day knowing that we probably have more to do than we have hours in the day, but that we have a lot of great people to support us along every single step. And that's the same type of attitude that we take when we come to our community. Look, we know what we're putting out to you guys is hard. We're not giving you, you know, simple tools that are easy to use, like, you know, like a hammer and nails. We're giving you a jackhammer and a chainsaw, and you need to figure out the different ways to leverage these powerful tools that can literally duplicate, you know, like production level world grade finance. You know, we're playing with like super dangerous tech here at the end of the day, and I mean that in like a fun way. You know,
Definitely.
like not like dangerous like lawn darts are dangerous like skydiving is dangerous.
Phil, you're always dropping the metaphors.
Still,
So what we mean is that you need to use something like Web3 to be a developer in Web3. It's good to understand that you're going to come head to head with some of the most volatile technology in the world right now, and billion-dollar hacks take place in this industry, and we know that. But what does that mean? That means that also the upside is equally tremendous, and the possibility of achieving something great or building something great that really changes the world is equally possible. You're not going to do that by playing by all the normal playbooks, we'll say. And that's why at Moralis, we need to be extremely agile. And that's, for me, one of the best things about working here is adapting and conforming to that agility, because it makes me better as a professional, and it makes my career and my goals more exciting, because I work in a place that not only has these huge lofty goals, but is willing to do what it takes to get there, and also willing to, or also ready to embrace values which are important to people at the same time. You know, we take people extremely seriously at Moralis, and like even though we work long hours and we work very hard, we also have families that we care about a ton and that are our number one. And working for a remote first company has made it so that I can hold those goals in a compatible way. Doesn't mean I never have a fight with my wife where, oh, you're working too much this week or something, but I make but that's
Been
normal.
there.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you need to be within a place where you're able to prioritize those things at least most of the time, and that's what we have at Moralis. Hugely
Nice.
efficient, hugely compassionate, but then also hugely effective organization to work for.
Nice. And we are probably running a little bit over schedule, I'm realizing, but I want to get you with one last question, please, Joseph. Tell me about what has been your biggest achievement since you've joined Moralis?
My biggest achievement, basically, I think like helping out the community, you know, building out stuff. I think like I've been seeing some great projects building out and some people raising some funds as well along the way. So definitely really happy for them as well. So yeah, definitely like would love to support them along the way and build out with Moralis. Hopefully like they can be the next generation of like some kind of like Web3 of Google or something like that. So wish them the best of luck. And you know, that's really the joy that I get from my work.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yusuf, you've been an amazing guest, and we're most definitely going to have you back again because I've really, really enjoyed talking to you, as I do every time we get together. But yeah, I've been Bill, the front end. This was Yusuf. This was Phil. Phil, do you have any parting words for our community?
Click the link in the description. Join me in GatherTown. I'm going to be there in 4 hours and joined by possibly some of the other people on this panel here, some of our community engineers. Bill will be there for sure. We're just going to hang out. We were going to have a live stream 1 hour after that. However, that stream is rescheduled. What we'll do instead at that time is we'll have a little holdover in GatherTown. Stick around for probably about an hour and a half total. And if things are lively, we'll stay longer than that. It's all about you guys. So the more you show up, the more questions we have and things to talk about, the longer we can hang out. Looking forward to it, and we'll see all of you there.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, everybody. This has been episode 2 of the Moralis Web3 Community Podcast. Adios.